the next day.
本当に一人で大丈夫なのか？私がついていかなくても平気か？
I'll be fine, don't worry. As I've already said several times, the wind turbines aren't turning today, so there's no risk to me going out alone.
でも、何があるかわからないから、万が一ってこともあるから。この頃は、あの風が吹くのも、なんだかスパンが短くなってきてる。それに、カナの時みたいに、いきなり風車が回り始めることだってあるかも。
Are you really that worried?
心配だよ。心配に決まってる。
You know, Kana, I think I somewhat understand how you felt. When you love someone, you want them to worry for you. I'm all too familiar with that feeling right now. You have your own things to be doing, Shinku. Much more important things. You need to find a way to save everyone, and a way for the two of us to survive. Also, you're on a short timer.
それは、そうだけど。
I want you to go back to the school's lab, where you've been carrying out your research, and continue it immediately. We might not have much time left. On a different note, do you mind if I ask you something?
なんだ?
How did you know that Kana and I were on the rooftop yesterday?
どうしてっていうのは?
We left without telling you specifically where we were going. In fact, the only thing we said was that we were leaving town. So considering how you managed to find out exactly where we were without any information, I don't quite think it was mere coincidence.
そうだな。偶然といえば偶然だし、そうじゃないといえばそうじゃないかも。
What does that mean?
あれから私も一晩中、お前たち二人を探したんだよ。街中を走ってさ。街を出て行くと言っていたから、山のふもとにある駅からしばらく線路沿いに歩いてもみた。でも見つからなかった。しばらく線路を歩いて、子供の足でこの距離は進めないだろうと思い引き返して、またあの時間までずっと街を歩いて探してた。隅から隅まで探し回って、もう最後にここしかないと思った屋上に、お前たちがいた。だから、偶然といえば偶然なんだよ。焦ったよ。昼過ぎになると急に羽が降り始めて、もう間に合わないかと思った。一目だけでもカナの顔を見ることはできないのかと思った。
That was when I noticed that most of those feathers were falling upon the school rooftop, Iku muttered. I realized that I hadn't checked there yet, and it all became clear.
お前たちこそどこにいたんだ？一晩中あの屋上で過ごしていたってわけでもないんだろ？
We were in the lantern room in the lighthouse. We spent the whole night awake there. I filled Shinku in on the events that had transpired after we left her apartment.
そうか。灯台。それは惜しかったな。あの周辺は夜に何度も通ったんだけど。
Yeah, that's a real shame. We shared a smile, but there was no joy in our expressions.
あのな、ユーマ。
What is it?
こちらからも一つだけ、 質問させてくれないか。
Sure.
お前は私を許してくれるのか。
For what?
かなりひどいことをしてしまった。私をだよ。
Will you forgive me for that? If Kana forgave you, then there's no reason whatsoever for me to hold a grudge against you for that.
そうか。
I nodded at her and smiled, or tried to at least.
そういえば今日はユーマ、お前はどこに出かけるんだったっけ？
It's a secret.
そうか。秘密か。
Her lips curled upward ever so slightly. I'll be going now then.
ああ、行ってらっしゃい。夕方までには帰るんだぞ。
I headed toward the shopping district to search for what I needed. Iku still seemed a fair bit worried as we said goodbye to each other. Not here either. I wandered the streets alone. It's a shame all the food in these stores has gone completely rotten. Well, it was only natural. It wasn't solely because of what was happening in this world and to this town. Although these places had certainly been abandoned for quite some time, that wasn't the problem. No one lives in these buildings any longer, so consequently, there was no electricity being ran to them. Given the situation, all resources had to be preserved and used only in the minimal quantities needed. All the refrigerators had stopped working. The tap water stunk of iron. The propane gas was depleting quickly. Things were dire. Even the food we'd amassed would eventually rot. All of it would in time. Overindulgence could spell an early death in a ghost town like this, and there's basically nothing in the way of entertainment here either. I was hoping I could find that movie Kana told me about with the demon who killed people in their dreams, but it's looking like that might not be possible. As of now, survivors had been using as little electricity as possible. The electricity came from the wind turbines lining the mountainside, which had still managed to turn on their own. However, only when someone was seen to be soon to be taken, only then was energy generated. Upon learning that, I began to truly comprehend that just how scarce this resource was for them. Excuse me. I appeared at the storefront of what used to be the greengrocer's. Oh, everything's completely gone bad. I doubt they'll have what I'm looking for here. I can only imagine how lush and vibrant the vegetables decorating the storefront must have looked back when people were still here. Every last one of them was mushy and shriveled. Their color had dulled and faded considerably, and I wouldn't dare put any of them in my mouth. What I'm looking for is strawberries. I was searching for strawberries. That was the reason why I came here. Where can I find some strawberries? I looked around. Everything was gray. It was impossible to tell if any of these had been a strawberry at one point in time. Well, what now? I left the greengrocers. There was now less than a week until the day. I gotta make a shortcake in time for that. For it. That was what Kana and Mio wanted to give Shinku more than anything. The party, plus the shortcake. It'd make for a much better treat than those fish we caught. I wanted to celebrate Shinku's birthday. Those two girls who loved her so much were no longer here. So I decided to bake a cake for her, since they couldn't. I'd throw Shinku a big, wonderful birthday party, just like they wanted. Otherwise, all of our effort would be for nothing. During the brief time we spent together, we worked so incredibly hard. We were doing everything we could to give Shinku the best birthday ever. So I have to make Shinku's birthday party a success, even if I'm the only one left. I looked up at the sky. Wherever those two were, I hoped they were watching me. Anyhow, first I had to find the ingredients to make the cake. That was the most important step. I guess I'll check out the supermarket around the corner next. A bell chimed. Huh? Dong dong it went. The sound seemed to reverberate through the very ground I was standing on. That was... I immediately stopped in my tracks. It's that sound again. The bell chimed. The sound was calling to me. I was certain of it. I began to walk off, drawn to that nostalgic sound like a magnet. I'd come here to look for strawberries. Yet, hearing that sound had caused me to forget all about my objective. I continued walking onward as the sound grew sharper and harder to ignore. This place was where the bell had led me to. It was an old, worn building. Walking forward, I slid open the door and stepped inside. I hate to intrude uninvited, but oh well. I unwillingly muttered to myself. As odd as it was, though, I didn't feel like I was trespassing. It felt like I was summoned here. In any case, the place had to be abandoned. There was no need for manners. The sound's getting louder. The clanging of the bell seemed to be coming from somewhere within this building. Alright. Just as I was about to remove my shoes and step inside, though, I noticed something. There was a thin layer of white dust on the hallway floor. Maybe I'd better leave them on. This place doesn't look too clean. I thus stepped into the hallway with my shoes still on, feeling a small prick of guilt. Only a teensy tiny bit though. Wearing shoes indoors feels kind of wrong. I guess I've gotten a lot more accustomed to life in this town than I realized. I kept a straight face as I continued to follow the sound. It seems to be coming from here, I think. It's just a really loud ringtone, you know how it is. Room 202. As I stood before the door to it, the bell resounded even more loudly, its echoes reaching even further. Strange as it was, It seemed to echo within my head, as though it was being transmitted directly into my brain, bypassing my ears. Or perhaps the sound waves were merely causing the air to vibrate in my eardrums too, as a result. I faltered. Was the sound real or hallucinatory? I couldn't tell. Even putting that aside. Is it really alright for me to enter this room? I was hesitant to simply open the door. My wariness only grew. Wasn't this all a bit strange? It was, in fact. It was very suspicious. It was suspicious. Trap could very well be waiting for me on the other side of that door. However, I began to ruminate on some things. Nothing strange has happened to me thus far. I had seen so many strange things, suspicious things, horrible things, and unsettling things since arriving in this town, far too many to count. Nothing was able to surprise me any longer. Fine, I'll get it. I get it. I'll do it. If it wanted me to open the door, then so be it. I'll fall into your plainly obvious trap. Happy? I placed my hand on the doorknob and flung the door open without a moment's hesitation.
おはよう。
Huh? There, on the other side of the door was...
おはよう。目が覚めたかな？小さな小さな悪魔くん。私は君が来るのをずっと待ってたよ。
See, I told you Suzu was the only one who was the third person. A youthful witch. Damn. Don't tell me that.
さて、ここらでもう一度休憩を挟もうか。
Okay, hang on a minute. Don't. No. Wait. No. Right. Wait. Oh, I am confused. The introduction of Suzu is very important to this moment, right? But how does it link to the events of what happens in the main story, right? Oof. How do I explain this? We are introduced to Suzu after everyone except Shinku has disappeared. Why? Because Suzu will be an important will play an important role in getting everyone back to the town. But then, how does that end up with Shinku disappearing? I guess she... hopefully it gets answered soon. And I hope that I do not need to stretch this part out another episode. Suzu shuts the book and stretches out her spine.
さすがに疲れたろ？何か食べる？
No, I'm fine. I'm not that hungry.
そう？簡単なものでいいなら、私が手早く作るけど。
Thanks, but I really am full. You know, now that I think of it, I never actually saw you cook a proper meal in the end.
なんだよ、最後の最後までって。まるでもう二度と会うことないみたいな言い方じゃんか、それ。
It sound like...
というか、料理したじゃん、私。
Huh? Where did this happen and when? And what do you even cook? If it happened, I definitely don't remember it.
ひどいなあ。ほら、これだよ、これ。さっきインスタントな焼きそばをふやかしてやったじゃんか。
I knew you'd fucking bring that up. You did not cook that, alright? You call that cooking?
なんだよ。その残念なものを見るような目は。
Well, whatever. That's enough chit-chat. What was the meaning of all that?
だから焼きそばをお湯でふやかすのだって立派な料理だと認めてほしいと私はそう言ってるわけで。
I don't care. That's not what I was referring to. That witch mentioned in the book was you, right? And the boy in there was with my name. Is he truly and honestly me? Something feels very peculiar about this story that Suzu has read, that Suzu's been reading me. Wait, hang on.
私が作り話を君に語り聞かせてそこに一体どんな意味があるって言うんだよ。
God damn it. Oh, yeah, no. Suzu's been reading to me. Are you positive this book isn't a work of fiction? You didn't just make all of it up, did you? Well, alright. Fair point. She's perfectly right. Still, even so, does she really expect me to believe all of this unquestioningly? It'll all make sense soon.
私を魔女って呼び始めたのは君たちなんだ。無断に勝手に一方的に。だから、このお話に出てくる魔女は自分を魔女だなんて認識はしていない。
It'll hopefully make sense in the end.
この魔女はあくまでも君の視点で魔女と呼ばれて正しいということになっているだけのことなんだ。わかる？私の言ってること。
I mean, kind of, but also kind of not. Look, could you please explain this all in simpler terms? I'm getting extremely confused. Listen, Yuma, you're the one who wrote it like that, okay? So if anyone's to blame, it's you. He's just reading what you wrote. Don't shoot the messenger.
ああ、そうだね。そうみたいだね。
When can I hear the rest of the story?
そう焦るなって。
He yawns sleepily. Well, I'm not surprised. She's repeated this day again and again and again. For so long. At least, according to what she said. She has to be sick at this point. Still, though. I'm sorry, but I can't be patient. I don't know how much time I have left.
ああ、でもそうだな。
I mean, you know, at least it's different, considering that she's been playing out the same thing, playing out the same loop for a year, and this is the first time she's actually able to read the book Yuma, so you might get some enjoyment out of it.
今日はもうここら辺で休んで、また明日ってことにするのはどうかな。
So that he can forget. Oh, so wait, that doesn't make sense. He'll forget everything if he goes to sleep. If we do that, then I'll forget who I am again. If what you told me is true, of course. I'll die, seriously. If I go over the time limit, then I'll cease to be the me that I am right now. It'll be a completely different person hearing that story.
この際、それを試してみるってのもありだと思うけど、本当に消えてなくなるのかどうか。
Yeah, but the theory doesn't work because he won't remember that he forgot. Please don't do this to me, Suzu. I don't even want to entertain that possibility. I run my fingers through my bangs, wiping the sweat off my brow. Are you asking me to die?
いや、ごめん。そんなつもりじゃなかったんだ。少し言葉が軽率に過ぎた。
Yeah, that's what you get for being heartless. This is why you all... No, never mind. Suzu,
うん。
why are you so averse to reading me the rest of it right now? Because up until this point, it had nothing to do with Suzu, and now that Suzu's been introduced into the story, well, you know, you don't want to read it to me, do you? That's why you've subtly been trying to stop me from asking.
それはね、ゆうくん。
Yes?
この話を聞き終わった頃、君は大きく傷つくことになるだろうと私は知ってるんだ。そんなもの、想像に難しくはない。それに、
Don't worry, I've already been hit by a truck when I was told that the theories that I came up with weren't crazy enough. So, you know. Plus,
うん。それにね、この話を徹頭徹尾、完全に完璧に君が理解したなら、君はその瞬間に君じゃなくなってしまう。
I'll no longer be the person I am now.
そう。私はそれがどうしようもなく不安なんだ。私は私自身のやっていることに間違いはないと確信に近い自信がある。でも、それでもやっぱりいろいろな心配は残るから。
Suzu, when you say I'll no longer be the person I am now, do you mean that in the same sense as how when I go to sleep, I wake up the next morning without any of my memories from before, as essentially a brand new person?
あるいは、
Alright, so it's a maybe.
それでも知りたい？話の続きを知りたいかい？
Yes. I nod without any hesitation whatsoever. I believe that every person has the natural right to know as much about their own self as possible, so long as they wish to know. I want to hear the rest, Suzu. I want to know who I am. I also want to know who he is.
わかった。尊重しよう。君の気持ちを。だけど、ゆうくん、これだけは先に言っておく。
ん？
ずっと昔に何があったからといって、昔は昔、今は今だ。お話の中の私は、君に対して何かひどいことを言うかもしれないけれど、それでも、今の私が君を大切に思ってるってことだけは、信じてほしいと思う。いろいろあったけど、いろいろと私たちの間にはあったけど、それでも私は、今の私は、これから先の私は、ずっとずっと君のことが大好きだよ。
Well, Suzu, it's a bit too late for you to have her around, okay? Suzu, this isn't like her. Anxiety begins to creep in. She's not the type of person to tell someone I love you, and that is extremely unsettling. That and she's smiling so gently, as though the end of the story will be our farewell. That smile, it frightens me.
よし。ここらで休憩は終わりにしようか。確かに時間はあまりなさそうだ。
Then opens the book.
準備はいい？
Whenever you are.
うん。それじゃあ続きを読んで聞かせよう。
You said hearing this might cause me to become a totally different person.
そう。君が君じゃなくなる。かもしれないお話をだ。
Well, let's hope this is let's hope that I can condense it into the rest of this episode, and I won't have to drag it out for another episode. I say condense like I'm editing. Yeah. She revives the words from the page with her voice. Those words then play back in my mind, creating images of a world I should have been all too familiar with. Please, I beg of you, save us from this place. I can hear that voice calling to me from somewhere. Oh boy.
おはよう悪魔。やっと会えたな。
Demon child. The youthful witch closed the excessively thick book in her hands with a thump. He made a point of closing it exaggeratedly.
靴を脱げ。まず話はそこからだ。
Huh?
靴を脱げと言ったんだ。何のつもりだ？人の家に土足で上がり込むような真似をして。
Well, you're the one not cleaning the floors, so.
ここはいつから欧米文化の影響下に属されたんだ？そんな覚えはまるでないぞ。
I'm sorry. It was so dirty and dusty that I hadn't wanted to take my shoes off. If this was her house, she could at least clean it somewhat, I thought. Thankfully, though, I managed to keep the snide comment to myself. My emotions had been rather chaotic those past few days. Maybe it was because I'd been reading too many of these world's books. They're off.
オーケー。いいだろう。これで話し合いをする準備くらいは整ったか。
All right then, the witch said, directing a pointed gaze at me.
ちょっとそこで死んでみてくれないか、少年。
What? Why would you suggest something like that?
理由は簡単だ。私はお前がどうしようもなく嫌いだからだ。どうした？死ねないか？死ぬ気もないか？まあそうだよな。死ぬ。確かに今のお前には無理な話だ。
Oh. Hang on. Okay. I already figured out, right? The first time we talked about Yuma, right? The earliest point in time where Yuma that we know existed was when he was with Eri, right? He died, right, through disappearing, and he's come back now. This implies this is not the first time he's died. Uh-oh. Hang on. Oh. Ooh, this is interesting. The witch's lips curled. There was so much derision, whatever, in that one simple expression. This had to be her. The sixth person. The one who Shinku and Kana had spoken of to me. The witch. I looked around. The room was buried under mountains of books.
何見てるんだお前は。
The witch chided me in a low voice.
本なんてお前にとっちゃそう珍しいものでもないだろう。
I narrowed my eyes. Her words were thorny, and they poked into my skin, filling me with some sort of unpleasant emotion. Did you call me? I looked around the room again. That noise from the bell seemed to be coming from this room. I couldn't see any bell-like object near here, though. Only the books which filled every inch of the room.
ああ、私が呼んだ。お前のことを。本当なら呼びたくもないが、こうして面と向かって会話を重ねることさえも、不愉快極まりないんだが。
The sixth person. This girl who sat on the windowsill and read. Once more, she opened up the thick book in her hands.
それでもこうしてもう一度、私はお前に出会わないわけにはいかない。お前には、返してもらわなくちゃならないものがたくさんあるからだ。
I've stolen?
お前はあまりにも多くのものを奪いすぎた。価値があるのは私にだけじゃない。世界中すべての者たちにこそ溢れているんだ。お前に自覚はないだろう？覚えもないだろう。だからこそ、より邪悪だと言える。
I was completely and utterly confused. However, I acutely felt her disdain for me. It was clear as day. You don't say. She literally told you to kill yourself. Why did you call me here?
言ったろ？返してもらわなくちゃいけないものがあるからだ。
But what did I steal from you?
そうだな。まずは、思い出すことから始めなくちゃいけない。
Oh boy.
どうしてこんな手間のかかることを。
She grumbled to herself. Then she placed the book down and grabbed another. Are you all alone here? The sixth began to flick through the book. Was your family taken away by the wind too? Once I mentioned that, her hand froze in place.
なんだと？
I just wanted to know if you, like the rest of the kids in this town and in this world, had your loved ones taken away from you. You could join forces with us, and together we'd search for a way to beat the...
笑わせるなよ。
Huh?
笑わせるなと言ったんだ。今すぐ閉じろよ、その口を。貴様、一体どういうつもりだ？
You glared at me, causing me to cower in fear.
何も知らない気でいるのか？何も関わりのないふりをしておくつもりか？まったくひどく虫のいい話じゃないか。おい、もう一度言うぞ。一体どういうつもりだ、てめえは。
I was completely baffled. In fact, I hadn't been able to make sense of anything she'd said since I first entered this room.
お前が元凶だろうが。
What?
何を正義面してやがる。何を被害者面してやがる。何を私たちと同じ舞台に立とうとしてやがる。やめろ、やめろ、やめろ。お前に何の権利が、理由が道理があって、分け知り顔で悲しそうに打ちひしがれてやがるんだ。冗談じゃない、冗談じゃないぞてめえ。家族を殺した殺人者に、その悲しみ、その痛み、僕にはよくよくわかります。かわいそうに、かわいそうにね。と励まされたところで、胸焼けどころか心臓が焼けただれるくらいに不愉快だ。
He was barely able to suppress her rage, mumbling how dare you over and over.
思い出せ、今すぐすべてを。そして、返せよ。私とこの世界中のみんなの大切な人たちを。
The sixth then tore a page out from the book in her hands. What are you...
本を出せ。
What book?
お前の本だ。 っているんだろ？いや、持ってないだなんて言わせない。絶対にだ。それがなきゃ全てが台無し。また一から始めなくちゃいけなくなる。
I did as she requested and took out the book. It was the book I had been using as a diary. I produced it from wherever I'd been keeping it, up my ass. Not the right time.
思い出せ。そして、後悔するがいい。
I took the pages that she passed to me.
シンク。二階堂シンク。あの子の妹を連れ去ったのは、お前なんだよ。化け物め。
What? All of a sudden, everything went white. This is literally the opposite of white. Never mind. Wind. The wind was howling. It sighed quietly as it lifted and flung about the white feathers covering the ground. This was the realm that existed at the furthest reaches of the universe. The great library of the beyond. The place where all life ascends to after death. I was the one tasked with managing this space, this collective consciousness, in a sense. I had no name. I was but a mere consciousness that existed here to carry out this will. Oh. After finishing one of the new books placed on these shelves, I heaved a deep, deep sigh. I want to learn about love. Each and every one of the lives recorded in these books were filled with the word love. Love, affection, a yearning of the heart. It seems to be a uniquely human experience. However, there were also humans who felt unloved by all, which is why I had to once again summon those humans here, who harbored such deep loneliness in their hearts. That was what our promise dictated I do. Every human soul exchanged a promise with me here, and after that, they would go embark off on their journey to whatever world they were to be born in. I promised to find happiness. With this next life, I will fulfill that promise and attain happiness. So please, God, watch over us. Whenever we are sad, please comfort us and tell us that everything will be alright. That was the promise. As such, I imbued them with the power to fulfill their wishes and sent them off to their desired worlds. Following that, I would watch over them from afar as they began their new lives. Humans are such precious, lovable creatures. Each and every one of them lives so earnestly as they strive to attain happiness. Sometimes I get the urge to tell them to relax a little bit, though. I don't want them to hurt themselves in the process of finding this happiness. All I want is for them to enjoy the life they've been given. However, they promised me that they would find happiness, which meant that I had to promise them something in return. The promise I exchanged with them was that they would never be alone. I would give them family, friends, sometimes even lovers. I etched these predetermined relationships into their lives so that they would never be alone. Why then? Why did I find myself feeling so immensely unsatisfied? Even though I had granted the humans the freedom to love, I myself was not allowed to leave the space to which I had been confined. Even so, no, it was precisely because of that. Lately, I found myself so fascinated by this emotion the humans called love. Love. The sole reason I came to this place was so that I could attain it for myself. Yet, it feels like it's so far out of my grasp. The humans, they're each so precious, so beautiful and pure. Every last one of them. There's been one in particular who's stricken my fancy as of late, though. From this location I was in, I had access to countless different worlds, and I could view them if I so pleased. I want you to teach me about love. The human who had captured my heart. Uh-oh. This soul, who lived with more passion than any other I'd observed. They were always so hopelessly in love. However, it was a love that was not meant to be. Time and time again, they would meet a tragic end before their love could be realized. Yet, they stood up after each failure, asking to be reborn in the next world, so that they could once again fall in love with that same soul and protect the ones that they loved. Right now, they lived in a port town named Kazutsugahama. Her name was... Her surname, Nikaido. Her first name, Nikaido Ai. She, I thought, would be the best person to teach me what it truly meant to fall in love. So, with that in mind, I decided to have her brought here. Even though her life as Nikaido Ai was far from reaching its natural end. Even though she was finally on the verge of attaining the relationship she desired with the boy she so loved. I stole her future, and his too. For the first time ever, I used the power of the library for purely self-serving reasons. Solely to satisfy this greedy desire of mine to learn of love. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please, forgive me for what I've done. I felt guilt in my heart. Surely I deserved to be punished for my sins. I remembered. He made me remember. And I knew who I was. Was that what the witch in front of me asked? A dream? A hallucination? Did you force me to see that? I found myself glaring at the witch in front of me. Being a witch, I thought it certainly would be conceivable for her to have the power to show me visions. What did you even stand to gain from showing me a dream like that? It upset me. It was pointless, and it was cruel of me. I was a human, just like all of them. I was on their side. I vowed to save Kana and Mio and all the others who had been taken. Yet, this witch, she had the audacity to... Why? Why did you show me that dream?
何言ってやがる。お前は夢なんて見ないだろうが。感想は？
Lifting her head, I looked her square in the eye.
感想はどうした？自身の邪悪さを自覚せず、理解できない悪党ほど真に邪悪なものはない。そうは思わないか？私はそのすべてを思い出せとお前に言った。だけど純粋な意味で、お前はそれを忘れていたわけではないだろう？違うか？お前の記憶形式は私たち純粋な人間とは大きく異なる。その基本からして全く違う。私たちのように昨日と明日と今とさっきが横に成長し続ける連続体のそれ用に、その意識自体が繋がってはいないんだ。だからお前は日記を書く必要がある。横に流れる時間の進みに、意識と記憶を追従させていくそのために。
My memories. The fundamental way it functions.
お前がこの世界に、この街に降り立った日から、今の今まで。お前は自分が何者であるのかということを、明々白々と知っていて、しかし同時に知らなかった。
I mean, that is true. He has been writing in his diary every day, right?
私が、お前の本からそれについての記憶を収めたページを奪っていたからだ。お前が私たちのように何かを順序立て、覚えていくには、その本に日記を書きつけていくしかないんだ。もうわかるだろ？わかってるだろ？お前は人間じゃないんだよ。純粋に私たちと同じ生き物じゃないんだ。私がここでお前を迎え入れ、そしてお前の本に書けた記憶の1ページを差し出す。あの子とは何も知らない純粋な気持ちで会いたいからと、お前は自分の記憶を本にして切り外し、私に託した。叱るべき時が来たなら、その記憶を返すように、と言ってね。それが私とお前との契約の一だ。そのために、私はここで待っていた。お前から渡された、このドアベルの音を合図にしてな。
Again, it rang. From some unknown empty space. I was almost led to believe that it was resounding from inside her. However, that didn't matter one bit right now. But what was my relationship with this sixth person? Why did she hold the key to restoring my lost memories? Now that I had those pages back, I was able to recall everything. However, none of those questions mattered to me anymore. I kidnapped Shinku's sister and Kanoe Yuma. All the pain she endured, all the tears she'd shed, it's all my fault.
その通り。少しは自分自身の醜悪さを自覚できたか？お前はな、自分が恋を知りたいというわがままを叶えるために、人一人の時間を一方的に摘み取ったんだ。
In that case, if the anomaly destroying this world really is my doing too.
当たり前だろう、そんなのは。どのようにしてそうなったのかは、私にはわからない。だがお前以外の誰が原因だって言うんだよ。何者が原因であれると言うんだよ。そもそもこんな底意地の悪い何もかもなんて、お前以外の誰も思いつけるわけがない。
私はこれからきっと皆さんのところへ連れて行かれてしまいます。
I still remember what Kana had said that day. All of it was my doing. No, I couldn't. I can't believe this.
なんだと？
I don't want to believe it. However, the pages she gave me, the pages which I needed to know who I was, she did not steal them from me. I willingly gave them to her. Because I wanted to be a blank slate when I met that human girl. That was why I gave this witch part of my memories. Then I told her that she could return them to me once I had arrived back here. I closed my eyes and almost instantly, that image of the beyond came rushing back to me. I recalled what actions I took while in that place. In order to learn what love was, I took Nikaido Eye away without considering the implications of what I was doing. That was what kickstarted the anomaly, and subsequently the beginning of this world's demise. I could no longer turn a blind eye to the horrid truth. What I saw was no dream, nor a hallucination.
おい、どうした？何か言ったらどうだ？信じたくはない。その続きはどうした？言い訳を聞こうじゃないか。全世界の人々が満場一致で納得できるような道理のかなった言い訳を聞かせてくれてもいいんじゃないか？
I took out the book, which housed my memories. Then I ripped it to shreds.
何をしてるんだお前は！
I continued to rip and shred page after page. I killed Shinku's sister. Me. I did. I murdered her. It's a bit too late for me to say that. The impact's sorry. Hang on, I'll do what every aspiring voice actor does when they record a bit too late into the night and they don't want to wake up their parents. Never mind. No. I didn't. Pain coursed through my entire body. When the pages were shredded, my skin was ripped off.
やめろと言ってるんだ！
She grabbed the book from me in anger, but the overwhelming guilt was still eating me alive.
ケーキ食べたい。
I was the one who caused her sadness.
だから先生お願い。私を嫌いにならないで。
I was the one who caused her tears.
この国を壊した最果ての神様は意地悪だ。
I was the one who robbed her of her happiness. And I pulled at my hair in a fit of rage. I was the one who caused all of this. It's all my fault. I tugged with enough strength to rip the hair from my scalp. I'm not doing that again.
おい、やめろ！その体は借り物だぞ！お前のものじゃない！
Kill me. Kill me, please. I don't deserve to live in this world for a second longer. The witch grabbed my hands, but I punched and kicked and flailed. Why? Why did you let me go out there and cross paths with them? I could never face those girls ever again. I promised that I would save them, but for what? What irony. What irony. I was the cause of their suffering, yet I had the audacity to promise them that I would save them. It was downright disgusting. It hurt. It hurt so much. Everything I did brought me agony. Even the simple act of breathing the air of this world brought me immense pain. Kana, I was the demon in your dreams. The witch's words resounded in my head.
家族を殺した殺人者に、その悲しみ、その痛み、僕にはよくわかります。かわいそうにね。と励まされたところで、胸焼けどころか心臓が焼けただれるくらいに不愉快だ。
Her comparison was all too real. Please, kill me. Kill me. Put me out of my misery. I know you hate me. You despise me. So please, do it. I can't stand to live in this world any longer.
ただの一介の人間がお前を殺せるわけがないだろうが。
Her words were like a knife.
それにたとえお前を殺せたとしても、それで何がどうなるわけでもない。お前が殺した全員は帰ってこない。
I slammed my head against the wall as hard as I could. I wanted to rip and torture and destroy this body. I wanted to inflict pain upon this flesh that was housing the soul of a demon like me.
やめろ。やめろと言ってる。いい加減にしろ。
She slapped me.
見苦しいんだよ、てめえは。
She pushed me down on the floor.
思い出せ。お前のやるべきことは一体なんだ？
She grabbed my hair.
少しでも反省しているというのなら、お前はお前の約束を果たせよ。
Her glare seemed to pierce right through me.
さもなきゃてめえは低俗な悪魔にも劣るぞ。
I felt a sudden dull pain in my abdomen. After that, I fell down. She'd kneed me so hard that it felt as though my stomach would split open.
ついその体が借り物だってことを忘れちまうな。それがお前自身の体だったならよかったんだ。そうなれば遠慮なんてしないで、いくらでも。
No. I promised Kana. I promised her that I'd save everyone. Please. I beg of you. Save us from this place. But how am I supposed to? Why did I even promise her? How the hell am I supposed to save them now?
だけどお前自身もどこかで分かってはいたんだろう。自分は目の前にいる人間たちとはどこか違うと。それとも自分は普通だと思っていたのか？もしもそうならお笑いだな。どんな気の利いたシャレよりも面白おかしい。
No. It can't be. I'm not. I could deny it. I could reject it. I could struggle against it. But do as I may, the memories from the beyond that swirled around my head would not go away. The reason I took Shinku's sister, the reason I came here, even the reason I had this witch help me so that I could finally be free of the shackles which constrained me to that place. I could remember it all oh so clearly. Why? Why didn't you call me here earlier? Why did you wait until I'd met them, befriended them, and promised Kana and Mio that I'd protect them? Why the hell did you do that?
これはささやかな復讐なんだよ。私から、お前への。私は確かにお前と契約をしたけれど、私は、私の大切な人を連れ戻すために、お前と手を組まざるを得なかったけれど。だが、それでも、一矢報いてやらなければ気が済まないじゃないか。大切な人を目の前で連れ去られる。そんなの、お前自身に経験させてやらないわけにはいかないじゃないか。
No. No, no. They didn't know anything.
だけどな。本当なら、お前のことを本気で蔑み抜いてやりたいが、私にはそんな権利、ないのかもしれないな。私は、私だけの願いを叶えるために、お前と契約を結んだんだから。
You don't have the right?
私だって、お前のことを一方的に責め立てられる正当な立ち位置にはいないってことだ。私はお前と、ほとんど、同類だ。
She heaved a long, deep sigh.
あの子たちが暴走した最果てに連れ去られていくのを、ここでこうして何もせず、見ていただけなんだからな。
But wait, I thought you said that was deliberate. Wait, I thought you said that was a deliberate act of revenge toward me.
そんな風に都合よく何もかもをセッティングすることができるほど、私は有益な力を持っちゃいねえよ。ともかく、お前はこの世界にやってくるのがあまりにも遅すぎたんだよ。だけど、今日は帰れ。そして話の続きは、また明日だ。互いに互いの願いを叶えるために、あるいは停止したこの世界を救い出すために、協力し合わなくちゃいけないんだからな、私たちは。その説明は明日、改めてまたしてやる。だからもう、今日のところは帰れ。お前がどうしても自分を許せないというのなら、明日から始まる何もかもに全力を賭せ。
Sicht opened her book again, remarking that I could do nothing else at this point.
なんだ、まだいたのか、お前は。
She sighed.
とっとと帰れと言ったろ。今はお前の顔など見たくもないんだ、私は。自分自身の醜悪さをも、ありありと気づかされるんだ。お前を見ていると。
I staggered to my feet. Just one final thing.
あ？
There's something I want to ask of you. I don't know if you'll do it for me, but
言ってみろ。
thanks. There's something I want.
欲しいもの？
I nodded. I want to... Is it good?
ああ、すごく美味しい。久しぶりに食べたような気がするよ。ホットケーキ以外のこんな美味しいものは。
I'm glad you like it.
のどうしたんだ？こんな貴重なもの。どこで見つけてきたんだ？
Well, a place.
そうか。ちょっとか。言えないようなことでもしてきたから秘密なのか？
No, it's nothing like that.
まあいいか。ほら、お前も半分食べろよ。今日は何も食べてないから、お腹減ったろ？
She then began to divide the shortcake into 2 pieces using small deft movements. The fork she used was the same fork that she always ate her pancakes with.
いちごのところを食べちゃってもいいんだぞ。なんたって私の方がお姉さんなんだからな。これくらい全然平気だ。
You really don't?
平気さ。
I flashed her a brief smile before shaking my head. Thanks, but I don't need any. I'm not hungry.
何をバカなこと言ってるんだよ、お前は。
He let out a small giggle. I couldn't bear to look her in the eye.
ユーマ？
I'm fine. It's your cake after all.
そうか？
Yeah, I'm sure, I said with a nod. Shinku, do you know what the day one day after the day after wait, what do you know what the day one day after the day after tomorrow is?
明日と明日とその次の日？ 3日後ってことか？なんてな。ごめん。わざとらしいのはちょっと苦手だ。
You know,
知ってるよ。私の誕生日だ。
I was
そう
hoping
だろ？
I was hoping I wouldn't fat finger something, but I guess, you know, I'm not that good.
明日と明日とその次の日？ 3日後ってことか？知らないな。
Right. The day you came into this world. I know I'm a little early, but happy birthday, Shinku.
ありがとう。だからケーキを探してきてくれたのか？
Yeah. Before everything happened, Mio, Connor, and I were planning to throw a big birthday party for you. We've really worked so hard preparing for it. But those two didn't even make it to today, let alone your birthday. They mentioned to me numerous times that they wanted to make you a cake, so I at least wanted to do that for them, if nothing else.
そうか。ありがとうな。苦労したろ。今みたいな状況でこんな美味しいものを見つけてくるっていうのは本当に大変だったろ？
It really wasn't that hard.
嘘つくなって。ユーマは嘘が下手だな。
She giggled. I may be bad at lying, Shinku, but I'm far too good at turning a blind eye. It's a blind eye to things and burying my head in the sand.
でもなるほど。どこかから見つけてきたわけじゃないのなら、もしかして自分で作ったのか？すごいな、ユーマは。
Not quite. A very generous person gave it to me.
もらった？親切な人？
I nodded. The 6th person you mentioned to me a few times. He gave it to me.
ああ、あの子に会ったのか。
Yeah. Just before I left that room, covered in books, I asked that sixth person for something. A shortcake. I said it knowing it was a wholly unreasonable request. Yet, she managed to bring me one in almost no time at all, without expending any effort. She told me to take it and scram. I was so amazed that I even considered the possibility that she might truly be a witch. Tinku.
なんだユマ。
Who exactly is that sixth person?
ああ、面白い子だったろ。
Tinku chuckled in amusement. But I just couldn't bring myself to smile back at her.
でも、私もあの子に関してはあまりよく知らないんだ。あの子はずっと一人であそこで寝起きしていて、私たちの呼びかけにも答えず、教室に一度もやってくることもなく、ずっとあの寮で本ばかりを読んでるような子だ。
Was she doing all right? From what you could tell, Shinku then asked. I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my abdomen again. Yeah, she was doing fine. For what it was worth, you'd need to be in pretty good shape to be able to deliver such a powerful and explosive kick.
そうか。元気にしていたか。そいつはよかった。何よりだ。確かに、私はあの子のことを詳しくは知らないけれど。だけど、あの子とは少し方法は違うけど、一緒に最果てに関しての解決法を見つけ出そうと、そう誓い合った仲なんだよ。私たちは。
You and her?
ああ。あの子は大変な読書家だからな。私は両親から受け継いだ研究から、そしてあの子は、この世に溢れている先人の知恵から、最果てへの道のりを探し出す。そういう風にして、私たちは互いに異なる方法で、世界を救おうとしていたんだ。
I see.
まあ、それはともかく、ありがとうな、ユーマ。ケーキ、美味しいよ。
No problem.
甘いものがいいな。お腹いっぱい食べてると、幸せな気持ちになってくる。
Tinku beamed happily.
今度はお返しに、お前の誕生日を私が盛大に祝ってやるよ。そういえば、ユーマの誕生日はいつなんだ？
If you want to thank anyone, you should thank Kana and Mio. I think they deserve it more than me.
ああ。
If they hadn't done all the planning they did, I never would have even thought of getting you a cake.
そうなのかな。わかった。今日から私の大好物にショートケーキを加えておこうかな。すごく甘くて柔らかくって、お前たち3人の気持ちがとても嬉しかったから。
Right. But, Niku, I'm the one who should be thanking you.
ユーマの方が？
According to a book I read in the school library, on a person's birthday, all their friends and family are supposed to thank them for being born.
そうか。生まれてきてくれてありがとうか。
Niku closed her eyes, a tiny smile playing on her lips.
それなら私は妹に、会いにおめでとうを言うことにしよう。
Huh?
私とはまるで全然似ていない双子の妹だけど、それでも私の誕生日はあの子の誕生日でもあるから。もうここにはいない人間だけど、そういうのも悪くはないよな、きっと。
I recall. I really wish I could introduce you to her, Shinku said, with a smile. Just from the mere mentioning of that name, my heart was already swelling to the point of bursting.
ごちそうさま。
Shinku clasped her hands together after finishing and offered me thanks.
とても美味しかったよ、ユーマ。ありがとうな。
Oops. That sweet smile of hers. It almost seemed to change the atmosphere of the room itself.
そうだ。話の続きをするか。
What discussion?
ユーマの話だ。お前じゃないユーマの話。まだ途中だったろ？
Don't worry about that. I shook my head.
そうなのか？
Yeah, I'm sure. I already knew all about him. I was now able to remember everything, so there was no longer a need for me to ask Shinku about him, or even her sister. I could recall it all on my own. Yuma. Hanoe Yuma. I was supposed to possess a perfect, working heart, yet I was jealous of him. And because of that jealousy, I assumed his name. If I had his name, I thought that Shinku might be more likely to take notice of me. I closed my eyes. Then, I began to recall the past.